Hey everyone, BDZB Comics here, and last time I did my Super Smash Bros. Switch predictions versus desires video, and in the comments I asked you all what you would like to see next, and you all said you would like to see me talk about the returning roster, which is now what I'm doing. But before I get into that, I have to do a little housekeeping. And if you're not interested in that, just skip ahead a little. There will be a picture of Ryu from Street Fighter when it is time to go back. And why Ryu from Street Fighter? Well, I'll get to it when I get to it. But for right now, I would like to address a concern from my previous video. You might notice that there's not any music right now. And that's because I received a lot of comments about the music, some of which were very nice. Audio overpowers the mic a little bit. I'd recommend lowering your audio a tad so that fans can hear you more clearly. Some were fairly blunt. Music is too loud. Some were a little snarky. Did you record this inside a cardboard box? And some were this guy. BDZB equals blah, blah, blah. Me equals what? I can't hear you. Speak up or fucking lower the music. Now, at first, I really didn't understand this. My philosophy has always been, as long as the music isn't so loud that you can't hear what the person is saying, it's fine. Now, of course, I recognize that I'm able to understand what I am saying better than other people because I am the one who said it, but even so, in listening back on the video, there weren't really any areas where the music really seemed to drown out what I was saying. It was fairly audible all throughout the whole thing. And the thing is, I have had audio problems in my videos before. Like, the music is a lot louder in some of my other videos, and yet, I have never been called out on this. Like, not at all. So I was like, what's going on? Why am I just now getting tons of comments about this? And then I realized something. I went back to some of those videos where I had audio issues, and I realized that despite the music being louder, my voice came across clearer in those. So I realized the issue isn't so much the audio level of the music as it is the clarity and the audio level of me, myself. And I was like, why is that? Why is my voice so much clearer in these videos? And I realized that the Smash Bros. Video that I put out is the first video of mine with music that I have released since I got the newest version of Adobe Premiere Elements. My previous version stopped working, or at least stopped working in a way that made it realistic to edit videos. It would take a full minute of loading to do pretty much anything. If I wanted to delete something, it took a full minute. If I wanted to move something just a little bit to the left, it took a full minute. So I was like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So, you probably noticed I'm speaking a little louder now, and by the time you're actually listening to this, my volume will be raised even more because I will go in and artificially make it louder in the editing program. So, let me know if this works. Let me know if it's too loud now, if I have the opposite problem. But with that out of the way, cue the music. It's time to actually talk about Super Smash Bros. Oh, and by the way, before I go any further, this video contains spoilers for Zelda Breath of the Wild, the original Xenoblade Chronicles, and Fire Emblem Awakening. And it should be pretty obvious when I'm going to talk about each of them, but I can put timestamps somewhere if I need to. We'll see. Anyway. Oh, and as for Smash characters that were not in Smash 4. I'm just going to address them right now. I think Wolf is returning. I think the Ice Climbers are returning. I don't think anyone else is. Alright, now let's go. I wanted to start off by talking about the third-party characters from Capcom specifically. And that might seem like a weird thing to start off on, especially considering that in my last video I saved third parties for last. But there is a method to my madness, and I'm not even talking about Mega Man first. I am talking about Ryu from Street Fighter first. Now, as far as Ryu returning in Smash, I could really see this going either way. On the one hand, he's a very popular character overall, he's a historic character, he represents fighting games, Smash Bros. Takes inspiration from Street Fighter, yada yada yada. However, Capcom already has Mega Man as a character, and instead of including Ryu, they could replace him with a different Capcom character, like Beautiful Joe, or Strider, or Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, or Amaterasu. You know, that can be a guest slot. Mega Man fits in so well, he is going to return. Like, mark my words, that will be the case. Ryu I'm not so sure about, but the reason why I bring him up is because Ryu has a unique property that none of the other characters in Smash Bros. Have. And that is that he has 2 Final Smashes. This is something that I do not think should be Ryu exclusive. This is something that I think every character has the potential to have. Now, in Ryu's case, one of his Final Smashes is from a distance, and another Final Smash is up close. For these other characters, I feel like that can be the case for some of them. Others of them, it's something that you select before the battle. Others of them, it's sort of an enhanced version of one of their normal moves. So, for example, if you press up B, you get an enhanced version of their up B move. But it depends on the character, it depends on the context, and I'll get there when I get there. But just know that for pretty much every single character in the game, at least all of the ones that I can think of alternate Final Smashes for, I'm going to talk about alternate Final Smashes for. Alright, now that I've talked about Ryu, while we're here we might as well talk about Mega Man. Like I said, I think Mega Man is definitely going to return. And when he returns, I think he's gonna get a little bit of a different treatment. I feel like he will have some moves from Mega Man 11, since that is coming to Switch, and it's a good promotional thing. I also think he'll have his design from Mega Man 11, because, personally, I think it looks a lot better than his current design in Smash Bros. I think that he should have alternate costumes based on Proto Man, and, you know, all those other versions of Mega Man that you see in his Final Smash? Yeah, those should all be alternate costumes, too. Also include bad box art Mega Man in there, because, like, why wouldn't you? And as far as his alternate Final Smash goes, I think he should have the Rush armor, like he has in Super Smash Flash, and that can be activated by pressing up B, because up B is what summons Rush to the stage. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's address the elephant in the room. When Link was shown off in that first Smash Bros. Trailer, he was sporting his Breath of the Wild design. And a lot of people are speculating on what that means. Some people say it's just an alternate costume. Others say that it's a new character in addition to a more traditional Link. I personally think that Breath of the Wild Link is going to replace the current version of Link, Twilight Princess Link, in much the same way that Twilight Princess Link replaced Ocarina of Time Link in Brawl. Now, I personally want to see a complete overhaul of this character. I want him to have a bunch of different weapons, I want him to have all of the different runes in his moveset. In fact, I did a whole video on it. But I think more likely is that they change Link's existing moveset to better reflect Breath of the Wild, and that means only changing those things that they absolutely have to change and leaving everything else exactly the same. I think instead of regular bombs, he's going to have remote bombs. and I think that the Gale Boomerang is gonna be replaced by the Giant's Boomerang, which is a weapon in the game. But it is a minor weapon, so maybe they'll replace that with, like, Magnesis or Stasis or something. But I'm predicting that's all they're gonna do. Now, I think that his costumes should be the different armors from Breath of the Wild. And I also think that his 2 final smashes should be, he's not keeping the old one, because the old one is generic and boring and I hate it. First is the Champions of Hyrule final smash, which I mentioned in my video about Breath of the Wild Link's moveset, and the other is Urbosa's Fury, and that is activated by pressing up B, since that does the spin attack. He charges the attack up, and then lightning shoots down and attacks everyone on stage and stuns enemies for a second. Alright, so now that Link's done, let's talk about Zelda. I think she too will be changed to a Breath of the Wild design. That only makes sense. And I think that her costumes should include her white outfit that she has towards the end of the game, as well as her snow outfit that she wears in one of the cutscenes. And I think that she will retain her moveset from Smash 4 for the most part, and that means that she won't turn into Sheik, and her alternate final smash will be the big finishing move that she does in Breath of the Wild, and that is activated up close. Now, speaking of Sheik, I think that she could/should be replaced with Impa. Sheik really doesn't have any place in Smash Brothers. Like, she was in Ocarina of Time, and she was placed into Smash Brothers right around the same time Ocarina of Time came out. So, you know, she was popular then. But since then, she's been in spin-offs, she's been in remakes, she was supposed to be in Twilight Princess, but she hasn't been in anything original in, like, 20 years. And her moveset came out of nothing. It limited the potential of Zelda as a character, because they had the whole mechanic of switching to Sheik. You know, they had an excuse to make Zelda worse. Relax-A-Lax did a whole video on this. Highly recommend it. Anyway, I feel like Impa could naturally inherit a lot of those moves, and it would make sense. Now, if Sheik does get included, she can be more based off of Hyrule Warriors, and her final smash can be something from that game. Now, Toon Link, I've said it before, I will say it again, I would very much like to see him return, but be reworked. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I made a whole video about what his moveset could be. In that video, I said his final smash should be the 4 swords, summoning 3 other Links on stage, and that can be used from far away. His alternate final smash should be the Spirit Train, and that is an up-close attack. He runs people over with it. Alright, now on to Ganondorf, another very interesting character. He should return. He's the main villain of the Zelda series. He should not have his old moveset. I know that Sakurai really loves his old moveset and has stuck to his guns, but he really shouldn't have it. He should have a moveset based off of Hyrule Warriors. In Hyrule Warriors, Ganondorf's main weapon is actually 2 weapons. It's 2 giant blades. And there isn't a character that has that yet. And he also has an alternate weapon choice of a trident in Hyrule Warriors. And there isn't a character that has that either. So no matter how they do it, he would be a unique character. Now, I think Ganondorf should retain his old Final Smash, because turning into Ganon just makes sense. But for his alternate Final Smash, I want to see Ganon's minions. Basically, DDD's army from Brawl, except he calls in Moblins and Bokoblins and those sorts of characters. I know I said I wanted Bokoblins as a playable character in my last video, but that's not gonna happen. So, you know, if that can't happen, I can at least have this. And as for what to do with his old moveset, well, F-Zero. First of all, Captain Falcon's alternate Final Smash can be the Omega Falcon Punch that he does in the anime, and his current Final Smash can be reworked so that it works from more of a distance, so that he doesn't have 2 Final Smashes that are activated in the exact same way. But the real reason I'm mentioning F-Zero here is because I know that people are attached to Ganondorf in his current form in Smash Bros. So, if they want to play a character that plays like that, they could give Ganondorf's current moveset to Black Shadow from the F-Zero series, and maybe even include an alternate skin that looks like Melee Ganondorf. Boom! Problem solved. I don't think it's gonna happen, because F-Zero hasn't released a new game in forever, but who knows? Maybe at E3 this year they'll announce a new F-Zero game coming out for Switch, and they'll include another F-Zero character to promote it. But until the F-Zero series comes back, it's fairly unlikely that it's going to get another character. Alright, now, finally, I get to the logical starting off point for this video. The Mario series. Now, obviously, it makes sense to start off with the main man himself, Mario. And I see a lot of people suggesting that he should have an Odyssey-based moveset with all the different cap-tossing moves and such. And I don't know if I want that. Because I want Pauline. I want Pauline to have those cap-tossing moves. Not the capture ability, for multiple reasons. First, it wouldn't make sense for Pauline. Second of all, if you give it to any character, it would be overpowered. But, you know, all the throwing the cap around and using it to hit people and using it for an extra jump and stuff. I do, however, feel like it would be super cool if Mario's captures were incorporated into his moveset. And by that I mean, like, for example, his running attack could turn him into a Bullet Bill, his up smash, he could turn into a Podobo, he could have a move where he turns into a Hammer Brother and throws a hammer. Like, that would be really cool. Now, one thing that I definitely want from Odyssey is the costumes. There is an almost limitless potential for costumes for Mario in this game. And by the way, one of those costumes should be Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario should not return. And if you really want the pill-tossing move in there, give it to Mario as a custom move, assuming that they return. As for his alternate Final Smash, he should turn into a T-Rex and wreak havoc. To activate this alternate Final Smash, you would press the up taunt, because that taunt causes Mario to grow. And growing into a T-Rex only makes sense. Now, as for Luigi, use the damn Poltergust for more than just his Final Smash. You know, it's his main weapon in Luigi's Mansion, and hell, that side B that Luigi has right now isn't based on anything anyway, so replace the side B with the flashlight so that he can blind opponents or temporarily stun them, and then have the down B be the vacuum cleaner, and then have his current down B be, I don't know, a custom move or like an air move or something. They replaced it for Mario, they should replace it for Luigi. And then, if you include the down B as the way to get the Poltergust out, then you can have that as the way he activates that Final Smash. And as far as his other Final Smash goes, I think they should bring back the negative zone from Brawl, and that can be just a normal button press. As for the costumes for Luigi, I definitely think that he should have the Balloon Luigi costume from Odyssey. In fact, if they really wanted to get crazy, they could give him a balloon-based up B as well. Dr. Luigi should be a costume, and Mr. L from Super Paper Mario should also be a costume. Now on to Peach. There's really not a whole lot that they could do here. They could maybe give her some moves from Super Princess Peach, but that game came out a long time ago. Some people think it's sexist. Yeah, probably not gonna happen. So, as far as costumes go, she wears a wide variety of costumes in Odyssey. Put all of those in. Give her the Nurse Peach costume from the Dr. Mario games, and give her her sports outfit. It's a wonder that she doesn't have that already. As for her alternate Final Smash, this is one of the ones that would be selected pre-match. You could either select it or the one she has now. It would be Peach Beam from the original Paper Mario. All the Star Spirits gather, and it shoots a beam down, and if someone gets knocked into it, they receive a lot of damage. And since we're talking about the ladies, let's turn our attention over to Rosalina. I don't think they're going to do much to her moveset, but I do think they should incorporate her sports costume, which I guess is different than her biker costume, so they should include that as well. And include Cosmic Rosalina, which was in Super Mario Galaxy 2. That would be a really cool alt costume. And her alternate Final Smash, I don't really have a concrete idea, but they could do basically anything space-themed. Give her like a black hole Final Smash, or a meteor shower, or something like that. There are probably better ideas, since there's already basically a black hole Final Smash and 2 meteor shower Final Smashes, but they could do something with it. Bowser, I think, should have a wedding alternate costume. In fact, wedding alternate costumes for Bowser, Peach, and Mario. You know, that just makes sense. And his alternate Final Smash would be Goomba Storm from Bowser's Inside Story. That's getting a remake, so it makes sense. And that causes fiery Goombas to rain from the sky, and that is selected pre-match. Bowser Jr., I think his alternate Final Smash should be Cake Fall. Basically, a cake falls from the sky, and it crushes whoever it lands on, and then all the Koopalings pop out and they wreak havoc. Bowser Jr.'s current Final Smash only really makes sense when you're playing as Bowser Jr. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense for the Koopalings to turn into Shadow Mario. So, this Final Smash is the only one that is activated by selecting an alternate costume. For Yoshi, don't change anything except give him Boshi from Mario RPG and Birdo for alternate costumes. And his alternate Final Smash would be the Mega Egg Dozer from Yoshi's New Island. Basically, it's just a giant egg, so press up B, which is Egg Throw, and it's a giant egg throw. Alright, for Wario, I would give him a moveset that is at least partially based around the Wario Land series and not solely based on WarioWare. Some good examples for this are Project M and Super Smash Flash 2, so yeah. Sakurai, look at those games. I know you don't like fan games, but look them over. There are some good ideas in there. Alternate costumes, there's actually a Dr. Wario, so I guess that can be included. And a tennis outfit from Mario Tennis Aces. Give that to him. And his alternate Final Smash is the enormous fart that he did in the Brawl trailer that everyone thought was going to be his Final Smash, but it wasn't. Make that an actual Final Smash of his, and have it activated by his down B. As for... I'm going to do that in every video. You're going to get real sick of it. Anyway, as for him, I think that they should give him a moveset that is more like the Skylanders version of DK, because the current version of DK has, like, zero creativity. He just punches stuff. He just hits stuff really hard, and that doesn't really reflect who DK is as a character. The Skylanders version of DK, you know, he throws barrels, he can knock girders, like, to fall on people. Like, it's more in line with him as a character. He should also shoot and his down B can be the drums. Like, seriously, make the bongo drums part of his regular moveset. It's a terrible Final Smash. You'd obviously have to power it down a bit, but, like, you wouldn't even really have to change his down B to make it work. Instead of him banging on the ground, he bangs on the drums. It can have more or less the same effect. As for what his new Final Smashes would be, you can select one. He can either use Rambi, the Rhino, to rush through opponents, or he can do that crazy move that I think he does in Tropical Freeze? Correct me if I'm wrong. Where he punches the freaking moon down and it lands on people. As for Diddy Kong, really the only thing that I would change is give him the alternate Final Smash of the giant banana from Mario Kart Double Dash. That could be his alternate down B. Basically, he is completely immune to the giant banana, but if he knocks an opponent into it, they immediately slide off the stage. and it goes really far, and they can recover, but the chances that they will recover are very low.